Hello everyone, if you haven't seen me before, my name is Arya and welcome to this lovely, perfect world of politics that we are living through. Today we're going to be talking about some of the misinformation that is going around surrounding the LA riots and protests and National Guard that just got sent in over there. We're going to be talking about some updates in the Governor Newsom versus Donald Trump war because now Donald Trump is trying to arrest him. We're going to be talking about updates in the US-China trade negotiations, updates on what's going on with the NIH spending cuts, and also just a fun little tidbit at the end. This administration is enacting the weirdest pro-natalist agenda, and it makes absolutely zero sense and is super expensive for no reason. Doing simply one topic a day, or one topic every other day, however often I can make videos, is not enough. There's so much dog shit that is going on in the news cycle right now, and I'm actually really mad at myself for missing this developing story that was going on in LA that I got so distracted with the Trump, Elon, Epstein bullshit, completely missed that we are just full-blown authoritarian fascistic state, all right? And don't worry, I'm not gonna let it happen again. I made this video yesterday. Trump just declared war on immigrants and it found itself on the Magadonian side of YouTube. So I've been getting lovely comments like, how dare we enforce the laws? Correct your title. Illegals. The housing crisis wouldn't be as bad if there weren't so many illegals. You're loud, shut the fuck up. Women should not be allowed to vote. This person does not have a firm grasp on the English language. Federalize? Fuck everyone that left a comment about the way that I pronounce federalize. Are you kidding me? The president of the United States. I'm sorry, hang on. Ready? And the eggs went up. Now the eggs are down at the same price they were. We got them all the way down. And we had 3 weeks ago for Easter, we had an egg hunt, an egg roll, they called it. They said, sir, could you order a couple of months ago? Could you order plastic egg? I said, we're not ordering plastic eggs. And by the time we had the event, eggs were all the way down. But think of it, grocery prices are down, gasoline prices are down, and they were just in time down number $1. We had numerous states, $1.98 a gallon, just in time for Memorial Day weekend. How about that? Good timing. All you know endures to you because you are all with us. This is a family. This is really a family. So when I do good, you do good. When we do good, we do good together. Oh, my bad. Federalize. Federalize. He federalized the National Guard. Got a lot of comments saying that the protest was not in response to a raid at a Home Depot, which is technically, in like the most technical sense, true. The specific protest outside of the Home Depot, no, that specific Home Depot that was in the video was not raided. However, the protest did start outside of that Home Depot because people were protesting the prior detentions at other Home Depots in the area, like Westlake and the greater southern Los Angeles region. Not the Paramount Home Depot, the Westlake Home Depot.
Worried about the wrong crimes and shit.
They're normal cars, bro.
Get the license plates.
Protesters aren't allowed to wear masks, by the way. The protesters aren't allowed to wear masks because what do they have to hide? Yeah, what the fuck do they have to hide?
No? But they're taking people who are working. That's crazy.
Worried about the wrong
Crazy.
Worried about the wrong crimes and shit.
They're normal cars, bro.
Get the license plates.
ICE agents detain day laborers at Home Depot parking lot in Westlake. So no, the National Guard was not called in response to an illegal ICE raid at the Paramount Home Depot. It was called in response to a protest for different illegal ICE raids at a different Home Depot that was being protested at the Paramount Home Depot. Glad we got that cleared up, guys. People were noticing increased federal presences around the area. People on social media were posting it nonstop, making it seem like there were thousands upon thousands of protesters. In reality, the head count looked about 100 to 200, which seems really reasonable for 2,000 National Guard deployees, right? Have reports of law enforcement using tear gas and flashbang grenades. Don't worry, we have reports of protesters using fireworks and rocks. Ooh, it's actually so bad. The rock was so deadly that ICE is actually offering, the FBI, Kash Patel, is offering a $50,000 reward for information that can lead to the arrest of this person who threw a rock at an officer. Listen, I'm all for back the blue, but you guys don't care enough to give these immigrants that you're deporting a fucking notice beforehand to let them know that they're being deported. And you expect everyone to come running to you so you can do your due diligence to find out whoever threw a fucking rock at a car? Like, I'm all for back the blue, but do we understand how fucking mind warped of priorities you have to like, yeah, we're gonna give a $50,000 reward for anyone that has information about this suspect throwing rocks. This is insane. You get on a federal FBI wanted list. At approximately 3:30 p.m., the suspect threw rocks at law enforcement. He didn't even kill the officer. He just injured him. I'm sorry. Donald Trump, do we want to go after the people that were hurting cops at the Capitol on January 6th? Oh, no, sorry, you don't give a fuck about that unless it serves your political agenda. I also saw a couple of comments of people telling me that it is completely within Donald Trump's right to use the National Guard. It is 100% not. It is 100% a state right. And you can Google that and you can look at whatever chain of command, whatever you want to see that the governor is the one that controls their state National Guard. I showed it in the video. I talked through the different titles that you would have to go through to enact the National Guard. But the one that Donald Trump did was Title 10, which federalizes the National Guard, takes it under his control, and basically just, instead of Governor Newsom being the top of the chain of command, it just makes Donald Trump the top of the chain of command. The last time that the state National Guard was deployed without the governor's permission was in 1965 during the Civil Rights Movement, because Lyndon B. Johnson was so fearful for the lives of the peaceful protesters that were protesting that he sent in the National Guard to protect him. So even the last time that the National Guard was sent onto civilians without the consent of the governor, it was to protect the protesters. It was to protect our First Amendment right. It was to make sure that the racist bigots weren't burning them down and lynching everyone. Like, it is so bonkers to me that people will sit there and defend Donald Trump's right to deploy the National Guard, which is technically the military now that it's under his control. I saw a lot of people getting really, really mad that I said that it was the military when the National Guard isn't technically considered the military. It is. Look it up. And just to put the icing on the cake, Donald Trump is now using the insurrection rhetoric against the protesters. So he's laying down the groundwork to fully go Insurrection Act and just sick the military on people. Maybe full-blown martial law. Maybe we'll actually get those FEMA camps at the Walmarts that people were so scared about in 2012. We all know that Donald Trump was just looking for an excuse to sick the military on people, and that's why he used California as his scapegoat. Trump and Newsom have been going at it, not like rabbits, but at it. Basically, since he got in office, their most recent spat is Donald Trump threatening to hold all federal funding from California, and California, in response, threatening to withhold over $80 billion of taxes that California pays, because California actually pays the most in taxes out of all of the states, because, you know, it has like, what is it, like the third biggest GDP of like anything like in the world. Like, its GDP is fucking bigger than most countries. For some reason, this is being painted as a culture war issue. For some reason, MAGA is of the belief that Gavin Newsom is just so into trans athletes that he can't give them up, that he's willing to sacrifice all his federal funding. That is not the case. What's going on is Donald Trump keeps on poking the bear and keeps on saying, you know, if you, I don't think poking the bear is, what is it, moving the goalposts? It's like, if my little sister comes in here and is like, yo, give me your laptop, I'm never gonna give her my laptop, ever. But if I want her to clean my room, I'll be like, yeah. Like, if you clean my room, of course I'll give you my laptop. Yeah, of course I'll let you pay with it. That's exactly what Donald Trump is doing, okay? Like, there's no world in which Donald Trump leaves Gavin Newsom alone. All he's gonna do is nitpick every little thing that's going on in California until he finds whatever reason to deploy whatever law allows him to do whatever illegal executive overreach. And he has all his sycophants on his side. Secretary of Treasury Scott Bessent is threatening Gavin Newsom now, saying that it is illegal to tax evade. All of this is setting the groundwork for a potential arrest of Gavin Newsom. Because of course we are. No, Arya, you're being dramatic. You're being accelerationist. You're being alarmist.
He's daring Tom Homan to come and arrest him. Should he do it? I would do it if I were Tom. I think it's great. Gavin likes the publicity, but I think it would be, he's done a terrible job. Look, I like Gavin Newsom. He's a nice guy, but he's grossly incompetent. Everybody knows. All you have to do is look at the little railroad he's building. It's about 100 times over budget. We're putting a flagpole over there. Under budget. I always do under budget.
What? What? You want to arrest him because he's building a railroad too slow? We're building a flagpole over there. Oh my god, like at least with Hillary, like he gave a reason. Like at least with Kinzinger, with what the fuck was her name? With Liz Cheney, with Adam Schiff, at least he tried to muster up a little fake excuse of a reason, like treason, even though that's so agreed. Like, he didn't even give a reason. Yeah, I think you should do it. Gavin Newsom is grossly incompetent. All right, if we're arresting people for being grossly incompetent, I have a list, and Donald Trump, you are at the top of it. We're building a flag over there. While Donald Trump is making sure that we are set back so many decades, constitutionally, socially, economically, he's also going out of his way to make sure that we are set back decades upon decades in terms of research. One of the things that I was always obsessed about learning in history was obviously Greek. Who wasn't obsessed with like the Greek myths, right? One of the craziest things to me was the burning of Alexandria, of the Library of Alexandria. Like, I can't imagine how much further we would be in like civilization if we had all of the knowledge of the burning of Alexandria that set back humanity centuries, because there was no way to get all of that information out there. There was no way to get back all of that information, all of those books that were written, all of those works of art and philosophy and culture and science and everything that was in that library. All burned. And it was deliberate. It was a deliberate action against Caesar because they were trying to punish him. I forgot who, but it was deliberate. They knew exactly what they were doing. They knew that they were going to set everyone back. They knew that it was going to cause a huge cultural backslide. And so now Donald Trump is pulling back billions with a B, billions of dollars in funding. Several hundred NIH employees signed a letter of protest to the agency's directors. Over 300 NIH employees. Only 90 or so of them are actually publicly named. The other 250 or so are anonymous because they are scared. This is political cartoons, guys. Okay, this is a really good meme to show exactly what the Trump administration is doing with these spending cuts, okay? Antiviral medicine discovery centers getting their funding pulled because they mentioned coronavirus, among many other viruses. What does that mean? The Trump administration is trying to make it seem like COVID was this great big conspiracy, and so every research that's going towards funding COVID is actually going towards creating another bioweapon to make another COVID to give the Democrats another political win, or whatever the theory is. Who even cares? Because now they're pulling any and all funding related to anything involving coronaviruses. If you are a dipshit, you probably think, okay, well, that's fine. It just affects COVID-19 and we're done with COVID-19. If you have a brain, you are conscious enough, coherent enough, like cognitive enough to realize that there is more than one fucking coronavirus. There are multiple strains of multiple things that need to be studied. And so you could have one fucking coronavirus that they're studying that has literally zero to do with COVID-19, has zero to do with Fauci or any type of fucking conspiracies that you want to give for 2020. It's just contributing to the overall beneficial research of society. Contraceptive researchers, when they realized they accidentally wrote about reproductive health because the Trump administration wants to limit abortion access. And so any type of contraceptive care, any type of reproductive health, any type of DNC procedure is all getting cut. All the funding is slashed. They're not allowed to do any of it. Microbiome researchers in 2025 trying to describe healthy gut bacteria without using the word diversity. This is something that the Jubilee guy said when I was debating him that he just didn't understand. No, they're not technically banning the word diversity. They're not technically banning us from saying the word diversity. I can say it right now, diversity, okay? What they're doing is making it so that anyone that does say diversity is severely punished and isn't allowed to forget it. And so if you say diversity as a researcher in any type of science, if you do any type of equality, if you try and do any type of any data sampling where there is equal, oh, you're absolutely fucked. You're not gonna get any funding. Molecular biologists trying to figure out how to write a grant application without saying mRNA, because The Trump administration is of the belief that the mRNA vaccines cause autism despite a single ounce of evidence and multiple studies proving that there is no correlation between mRNA vaccines and increased autism. So, going back to these NIH spending cuts, total cuts estimated over 12 billion. It was supposed to be, I think, 9 billion to begin with, but that's still a crazy, insane amount. In the letter that they wrote, they were very clear to express that they wasted so much more than $12 billion. Like, yes, it was $12 billion that were technically cut from our future spending, but one of the great quotes from this letter is, ending a $5 million research study when it's 80% done does not save $1 million. It wastes $4 million. If we don't have the research necessary to continue finishing these studies and gathering the data and compiling the analyses, like, what the fuck was it all for? If we don't have the capabilities to synthesize it and to, give it to the public to use for future research to build upon, what was the point of all of this? And we are already seeing the real world effects of that. In one case, an NIH supported study of a multi-drug resistant tuberculosis in Haiti had to be stopped mid-course for patients. Because we don't care about any human lives that aren't white Christian nationalist ones. Quick little tariff update. There are currently talks going on in London, I think at this very moment, between Scott Bessent, Howard Lutnick, and Secretary Greer from the Trade Department, with Vice Premier Li Feng from China. These meets are coming after a phone call between Trump and Xi just a couple days ago, which was actually the first time that they had spoken this entire administration so far. They had not a single word. We've been going through this entire trade war and not a single one. Reminder from the trade war, it was on a 90-day pause from the Geneva truce because all good pieces happen in Geneva back in May. Put a 90-day pause on major tariffs. Not a pause, it reduced it. US went from 145 to 30% tariffs. China went from 125 to 10% tariffs. Major issues that were still on the table from these Geneva talks were issues with rare earth exports from China, issues with AI chips exporting from China because we are not allowing them, and issues with education visas because we are not allowing any Chinese education visas at the moment. So these meetings in London are supposed to alleviate and try to come to some type of concession with all of those. Let's remember, this administration has not gotten a single concession from China yet. So we haven't like conceded anything to them necessarily, other than like all of our global soft power in the world. So that's a good thing, but 6 months into this trade war, and only losers are babies who are unable to buy enough toys that they'll just have to deal with a couple less dolls this year. Okay, and final closing story. This is actually hysterical to me because it sounds like such a good idea that I hate that the Trump administration is the one that implemented it in such a fucking retarded way. Trump. CEOs promote new saving plans for newborns. I don't know if you guys recall, but I made a video about a month ago or a month and a half ago. I don't even know. Time flies so crazy at this point. Called like the Trump administration is trying to pay me to have babies, because the admin had this roundtable discussion in the White House that was like, how do we support like this natalist agenda that we have? How do we get America to have more babies? Like where are the fertile women at? How do we get these fertile women to be more fertile? So the proposals that they came up with were 30% of Fulbright scholarships going to applicants that are married or have children, which is just so fucking retarded, because do you know how elite of the population you have to be to get a Fulbright scholarship? I actually know someone who got a Fulbright scholarship. She also got a full ride to Harvard for fucking neuroscience and philosophy. Like she's insane. She's a genius, bro. Like it's insane that they thought that this was gonna support or promote fucking baby making in the country. But the other solutions that they came up with were $5,000 cash bonuses, menstrual education. So I guess a couple months later they realized that the Fulbright scholarships probably weren't gonna promote enough people to have babies, and so now Trump is revealing a program that would give every newborn baby in America $1,000, except it's not for every new. It's for companies to pick their laborers at birth. Like, what the fuck is this? Dell Technologies pledged to provide $1,000 for Trump accounts for children of its employees, matching what its government would contribute if the savings program for newborns delivered in the United States becomes law. Why does this scare me? We're already super attached to our jobs from insurance reasons, and that is like in itself alone like so much. It's such a heavy weight for people when they're choosing what job to have in what location is like the type of insurance and the type of retirement coverage that they're gonna have from that job, okay? Adding on to that, the added like notion that if you're working for like the top of the top, like the biggest corporation, you're gonna get this automatic savings account just for your baby. Like we're just gonna have billion-dollar corporation with trillion-dollar corporation just giving out money to all its employees. Like, you're not allowed to leave. You're not allowed to quit. You're not allowed to argue for better wages. You're not allowed to have workers' rights. Are you kidding me? I'm providing for your child. Do you want your child's savings account to not go anywhere? Like, do you want to see that just thrown in the trash? Uber CEO and Goldman Sachs chief also expressed support for the savings account. Once the bill is signed into law, Goldman Sachs would be excited to further support the initiative. And this is a list of all of the different CEOs that were there. I'm really scared by the oligarchical, like, fundamental structure of the administration. Just in the cabinet alone, there's so many. And the incentive structure alone is so strong. And it's just so blatantly not at all contributive to the problem that they're purporting to solve. Like, this is the best way that we could think of to deal with the birth rate crisis, by making Trump accounts. Like, what? So every baby learns from age 0 that Trump is the one giving them money? Like, what is the reason? That makes, like, 0 sense. Okay, and that concludes all of the politics that my brain can handle today. No, I'm just kidding. Let me guys know in the comment section down below if you guys like having multiple topics covered in a video, or if you like more shorter, concise, one-topic videos. Personally, I'm a fan of these multiple segments in a video, but I'm doing this for you guys, so let me know. Drop a like down below. Make sure you subscribe so you never miss another video. That was tacky. All right. I love you guys. See you in the next one.